Welcome back. Welcome back. It's so nice to be back here. It's felt like too long for me. The only thing that makes me feel good is to know that very soon the frequency in which we will be doing this will be a lot higher. It will be a lot more.
Why is that, Nate? How are we going to do that?
Well, Anthony, our studio is nearly completely done being built.
Whoa.
And we got a few more things to do and fill it up with everything we need to fill it up with to give you guys the best possible time that we can. And just set it off like we know we really want to, bring in the energy. And we hey, man, let me tell you something. I'm a performer, y'all. But I'm a prop guy, though. I need my props. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're going to have our props, man. We're going to have a lot of fun. And, yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, when we went down this mission and we're like, all right, we're going to start a podcast and do all this. And, we have been talking about this for a while, and put some effort into learning what it takes and also getting ourselves with the right people to help get us rolling, But having it come to this point where we've been doing this almost 6 months now, this is our 12th full episode. And on the horizon, we have the new studio coming. We still haven't figured out a name. I mean, we had an early...
Man, that's the Fortress of Solitude. What are you talking about?
So,
listen,
you said it and then you backed off it.
The thing you got to understand about this is if anybody knows about the Fortress of Solitude, they know that not just anybody can enter the Fortress of Solitude.
I do like that idea.
And the reason that is because you must be able to bear the weight of the door. You must be able to lift the door of the Fortress of Solitude to be able to gain entry. Superman wasn't the only one. He's just the one that was most well known. The people that we're going to have in there are people that are vetted.
Yeah.
Tried and true, solid, certified, official, authentic. Any other of those words you could come up with that that float in that space. And our guests as well. We're going to try to keep it heavy in there, man. That energy, that's the energy we want to bring,
Well, it's going to be a different vibe, man. I mean, what we've done here, this was like our test. Not just our test, but for ourselves to show ourselves that we could do this and that we want to be in this craft and do this.
Before that, though, like, aside from us, like, we're cool. I love you, man. You're my guy. I love you, man. But I got to say...
You got to hit me with some real stuff here?
It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I got to say thank you to Adrian.
Yeah.
For helping to enable us to do this, because we didn't have the space to do it.
Yeah.
And we probably wouldn't have had the budget initially to be able to put it together, quite frankly, as well. So,
there's a story behind that you might not fully know. For me, to come back to Adrian, showed up in Las Vegas on a basic whim. I wasn't supposed to be there a couple days before, even had to go through if I can go, because I was responsible for Arabella, and she made it happen. I put it on her and said, hey, I have this opportunity to go out here. She's like, you need to go, and just made it happen. And I was like, wow. I show up down there not knowing what to expect, but ended up sneaking into this event. It's a very high-dollar event called Secret Knock. And I show up, and there's probably 200, 250 people in this big room, event room. It's also a club at other times when they rent it out differently, very nice. And all these big speakers are up there, and I don't remember all the different names, but billionaires and companies that everybody knows. And at some point it was like, I had to take a piss. I was like, I gotta go. But we stuck in, so we didn't know if we're going to get messed with. And we didn't really look around in the whole space that we were. We just kind of went where all the people were because, you know, smart thing to do at the time. So I go to the bathroom and I notice that there's a podcast area over here as I'm walking in. I was like, okay, one track mind because my bladder was ready, you know, and go in there, do my thing. And I walk out of the door and I look ahead of me and Adrian literally looks right at me, straight into my eyes. And almost at the same time, he says, Anthony, I say, Adrian, both like this. Adrian gave him a hug. It was like, dang, he was doing the podcast for this event, right? And it was like, wow, how cool is this? So it was like, dang, I like sat there for a second, kind of saw what was going on. He said, oh yeah, I have someone else coming up. They go from the stage to come down here, and then they, after they're done with the stage, they do a podcast with me one-on-one. I was like, oh, that's dope. You know, like, I'm going to hang out and watch this next one. Oh yeah. In fact, he's like, I'm on it, right? I didn't know at the time, but he did like 20 something podcasts in 2 days. You know, like he banged them out. I go back in and tell Alan and Tim, who I was there with, that, oh, dude, my buddy Adrian is the guy doing the podcasting. I was like, how is this even, you know? So they're like, oh, I said, hey, you know, I'm going to go back over there. I saw a couch. I'm going to see if I can like sit on the couch and watch his podcast. Because in my head, it was like, you know, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in timing and that God will bring me
Divine timing.
Yeah. I've always believed that the unworthy will exclude themselves and the worthy will show up.
Absolutely.
You know?
But what I wanted to say was, this kid, Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian.
You know, very smart young man. All over the place. This guy's on every corner. He's the hardest working man in show business. For real,
yeah.
He's developed the brand Butler AI.
Yep.
And some other things that are going to be very, very impactful, and they're going to help to enable a bunch of people to do a lot of good work. And again, if anybody's in the Sacramento area, Bay Area, or anywhere in the region, me, myself, I love the situation so much with Adrian that I drive 2.5 hours to record here with him.
Yeah.
So if anybody is interested in entering into this space and doesn't have the space and they need some love, man, some accommodations and somewhere warm to come sit down and try it out, come sit down with Adrian.
Yeah, and what you're talking about specifically...
In Lincoln, California.
Yeah, it's a video marketing vault.
Yeah.
That's one of his businesses. It's the video production side of it and also social media side and all the different aspects to creating content. And he has his office in Lincoln that we've been shooting. And I'm stepping up to be a big part of that because I'm here.
Very grateful. I'm very grateful for the situation in which he's provided for us. So I just again want to
let me continue this story. Yeah, it's a good one, man. So I end up watched the next podcast, and I saw that as soon as he was done, the next person that was going on pod was like standing there like eyeing him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's saying goodbye. He's standing up after he just interviewed someone, right? And what I noticed, he had such a deep connection with these people. Like he was in it, even though like the space wasn't the best space. There was lots of movement going on, but he was focused on that person and creating really digging into them and understanding them.
Engaged.
And engaged, right? And learning who they are. And some of them, he has like a really good connection. I was like, dang, Adrian has grown up, like since I remembered him. Like this is like whole next level. And then he got done with this person and he had to talk to the next person. So that person walked out and I was like, hey, you know, because I was the only one sitting there watching this thing happen. It's like, man, end up saying great job, all this stuff and getting connected with that person. And then, you know, shortly after I realized it's like, I need to be sitting on this couch instead of sitting there with 250 people watching them on the big stage. And through that process, you know, ended up meeting a bunch of great people that I had no idea I would do. One of them I'm in business with now. And then Adrian offered to go to the Video Marketing Vault at a studio the next 2 days after we were, you know, this event. And I was like, what? And what he pitched on was Video Marketing Vault, which is exactly what you're talking about, the studio here and his online aspect of it as well. He has other locations starting and the editing and production of content. And he was showing Brand Butler and the process of building your brand, building a content strategy, doing all this stuff. And as I'm sitting there and watching this thing, although I love Adrian and I got to meet his new partner, Chris, who's like really impactful as well, I thought, as I'm looking at everything, it was so much for me. I thought there's no way in hell I'm going to create content like this and be able to do this because it's just overwhelming to me to think that I'd like spend much time editing or doing these. I don't know anything about it and all that. And so in my mind, it was like, this is a great experience. I love that he's doing this, but there's no way it's going to happen. Fast track like 6-7 months, you know, here we are today, because shortly after you're like, hey dude, it's go time. And I'm like, having the back of my head, what I just kind of saw, I was like, maybe I could figure this out. I got Adrian's got our back. And yeah, it's like come a full, yeah. What a good way to start, man.